This is Because.Teeth Podcast with Greg Santiago and Cody Preble. Because.Teeth Podcast, like the intro said. Thank you guys. First episode.
Yep, episode A.
Yes, sir. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot to get off our chest, I guess, in a way. But yeah, we'll just kind of dive right into it. So first and foremost, I'm Greg.
And I am Cody.
And we'll be your host. And kind of just dive right into, the first episode is what we want to do is content-wise and everything like that.
What we're going to be covering.
Yeah, what we're going to be covering today and in the future. And we'll talk at the end a little bit of what the next episode hopefully will be and go from there. So
and then give a background on us as well.
Yeah, so we're both second-year dental hygiene students. Kind of a lot of our target audience, I guess we'll kind of just put it out there is, we're kind of targeting anybody in the dental field. So whether it's students, professionals, whatever it may be, doing dental, Because.Teeth Podcast, let's get you in here.
Yeah. Assisting, hygiene, not just for one.
Exactly. All for one for all, right?
There we go.
You like that one? So we got a lot of different routes that we're kind of thinking about doing and, a couple things that we are doing that we can't talk about, I guess, on the first episode, but a lot of different avenues. This is just kind of our way of talking about and indulging in our material as far as in the dental field. So like I said, we're second year dental hygiene students. So this is kind of a little bit of a vlog style for us as well, kind of tracking our progress through the program, after the program, even more after the program, and even when we retire. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully it'll go that long. But yeah,
quite
so
a journey.
That would be a journey. I think I'll make it longer than you. What do you think? No?
I don't know. You're already a little older than I am.
We're already getting competitive with this. But yeah, so a couple different things that we want to talk about. We want to definitely talk about different products and things like that. We want to have some different apparel that we might release. We might just give away, something like that. And also, like I said, we're second year dental hygiene students. I already said it 3 times, but this is going to be like a learning thing for us as well. So obviously indulging in the material is the best way to kind of get saturated with all the information, as much information as we have to learn, but also talk about it. We will have a segment a little later in the episode to kind of basically put our education part into it, because that is definitely
kind of like a little review style.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got boards coming up in 4 months. So
3 months.
No, let's give it 4
months.
Yeah, we gotta go 4.
We're doing it in April.
Makes you feel better.
But yeah, so by the time this episode comes out, we will have a couple episodes already kind of pre-recorded. So we'll kind of release a couple of them. So this first episode is going to be just strictly info, obviously talking about what we're doing today, what we want to do, our goals. We're going to talk a little bit about ourselves here in a second. But is there anything I missed on so far as what we want to do with the
we will be bringing on some other people, having some interviews.
Definitely.
Not just with dental hygiene students as well, bringing on people from different avenues in the dental field. So that way it kind of brings a wide spectrum to it.
For sure. And as far as our classmates, we're definitely going to have you guys on. So if you guys want to get on, Because.Teeth Podcast, the one and only.
That's it.
But yeah, so I guess we'll just kind of go into our intros from that point. And I think we covered everything. We'll talk about a little bit more at the end, kind of where we'll be on and where to follow us. So if you already stuck with us this far, we appreciate you guys first and foremost. And we look forward to this journey, and we're super excited. As you can see, I'm already blabbering a little bit. I think I'm yelling in the mic. No, I'm just kidding. But we just have a lot of different things that we're super excited to kind of share with you guys. And if there's anything that you guys have for us as far as, any ideas, as far as the episodes go or videos, anything you guys might want to see, obviously we're going to keep it, dental related. We're going to be just sitting here talking for the most part and, about different things and incorporating different ways of our platform to kind of talk about different, dental topics and
any topics that are out there right now that are trending topics, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Any current or trending,
yes.
because there's a lot of obviously podcasts already out there. There's a lot of different YouTube videos. There's a lot of different YouTubers. We understand that. And, as far as we go, like, we just, we want to collaborate. Like, we just want to, like, kind of talk about things and kind of give our perspective. I think, obviously, most people that'll probably view this and see the Because.Teeth, they'll probably think we're dentists. We are not dentists. Nope. We are not in dental school. And I say that because kind of breaking that stigma of dental hygienists. And that's one of the episodes we would definitely obviously talk about, is being a guy hygienist.
Yep.
So that's a future episode to kind of look forward to. And because there's not that many, I mean, we got 3 people in our 30 person program. And then the year before us had,
one.
So we want to, like, not saying that that's our movement or anything like that, because it's definitely not. We know what we're in for in a way. So
just being a part of that new trend that's coming. It's guys are definitely up and coming. I mean, I think when I got into the program, there was probably only, I think it said 4% of hygienists were male.
Yeah.
But I think it is growing. It's going to be just like nursing. At first, a male nurse was a rarity, and now look, it's not that uncommon. So
exactly,
it is. Well, I think we're going to be a part of something here
for sure. And we'll cut it at that point, because we got to make an episode of that one, because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of different things that I feel. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, let's just dive into our intros. I think you'll go first for sure.
I'll go first.
You go first.
All right. So again, I'm Cody. I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. So grew up a Florida boy, still here. And I went to Florida Gulf Coast University for my first 2 years out of high school, and then transferred on to Florida Atlantic University over on the East Coast. Go Owls!
I was waiting for the Go Owls.
Got to represent them. So over there at FAU, I got my bachelor's in marketing, and I know you're probably wondering, marketing. How are you now in dental hygiene?
Just go right into it.
But just jumped right into sales and marketing, kind of followed in the footsteps of my family members. They were kind of my role models going into it. Thought that's what I wanted to do. And I'd say probably about 2 years after working in the field, just wasn't really enjoying that day to day. I didn't like the whole desk job kind of thing. So just kind of took a step back and kind of reevaluated my choices up to that time, and really thought, what could I do? What do I want to be doing? And that's kind of what led me into hygiene. There are a lot of correlations between sales and marketing and any healthcare profession, not just hygiene itself. A lot of people at first are surprised to hear that, but there's a lot of relationships between the two, such as customer service.
Number one, for sure. You already know.
Customer service plays a key in anything you do. And just having your patients first, as I did in sales and marketing, having the customer first. So that's one big part. That is a correlation between the two there. And then the other thing that I really wanted was just something where I was being a little more active, being hands-on. You can't really do that in what I was doing. And this is definitely that field where I can kind of get that satisfaction.
Oh, you're definitely going to, like, switch out shoes like every 2 months. Like, it's crazy to think about that too, because like you said, there's so many correlations, like the hands-on, like even the whole sitting and standing, like we do sit for, a good more amount of the day as far as like being, but we have to like keep our posture, ergonomics. We have to get up, get things. We have to get the next patient, walk them on. I mean, we're on our feet, even though we're sitting.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's for sure.
But that's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah. It's been very interesting so far, especially not having that dental background or even healthcare background coming into this. It's been quite the journey so far. Very interesting for me. Very eye-opening in multiple ways.
Well, it's funny you say that, because like as far as like coming into the dental field, that's like obviously like I would say everybody's like dental podcast. I think even if it's not really their sole like focus, like it's just really talking about the dental field, because there's so many. I'm not going to say stigmas, but you get these ideas that, they're influenced like not on purpose, but, you kind of go to the dentist and there's a lot of, dentists that have a dad and a son or, a cousin that, or different family members, or, it's kind of associated with that a little bit, as far as at least the dentist side of it. And not having somebody in the dental field, like for me specifically too, like I don't have anybody in my family in the healthcare field. So this was kind of a big step, I guess, per se. And I guess I'll just kind of dive into my intro. So I've been in dental field for about 3-4 years now. It's crazy. We're on our second year. So this is like adding like years right now. So
you're up to about 6 then, huh?
Oh man.
Not trying to date you yet.
I was gonna say you're showing my age first episode, but it's all good. But yeah, so I was an assistant for 3 or 4 years. I actually kind of the same, I guess, mindset in a way. I was in customer service before getting into the dental field. My biggest thing from switching from the hospitality industry is more specifically what I was in, just working like in hotels, and I was working for hospitality companies, and I saw correlations there, and I always wanted to be in the medical field, and my goal was to become a dentist. My goal, I got my associate's degree, my associate arts degree in pre-dental, even though that doesn't really mean much. But my idea was to, go get my bachelor's in biochem, and then go to dental school and so forth. But I didn't learn what a dental hygienist was till I was about 22 years old. Yeah. 22, it got brought up basically with my hygienist. I had talked to her, and at that point I was at the tail end. I think it was my last semester of school. I went in for my cleaning, and I told her, I said, hey, I'm getting ready to get my bachelor's. Like, I would like to come, kind of see what you guys do, if I can talk with the doctor or something like that. And this was my family dentist. Okay. So I've been going to him. My mom's been going to him. My grandfather's gone to him. My whole life I've been going to him at least. And when I said that to the hygienist, she was like, oh yeah, definitely talk with the doctor. And when she said like talk with the doctor, I guess it just never clicked. I never really thought about it too much. And I feel like that's a lot of hygienists. And I think this is definitely like why this is like so intriguing for me to talk about, I guess, in a way too, and tell this story, because I was like, wait a minute, like, what do you mean, like, the doctor? Like, aren't you a doctor? And she was like,
surprised to hear that.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like, you're not. What? And she was like, no. And I was like, you're not a doctor? And she's like, no. And I was like, she's like, I'm a hygienist, and you'd be a great hygienist. She's like, you every time you come in, you talk with me and you tell me like what's going on. And this lady was like my second mother, to be honest with you, at this point, because she had seen me since I was 10 years old and basically saw me growing up, even though I was only going and spending 45 minutes every 6 months. But I felt that comfortable with her, and that ties in that whole customer service, because you want to feel comfortable and go, because a lot of people do like to go to the same dentist because you give them that comfortable, feeling and stuff.
Yeah, and even for a lot of people, it's not really a comfortable setting going to the dentist. Everyone's kind of nervous. So if you can have kind of anything to kind of calm those nerves a little bit, definitely take advantage of it. So that's why I feel like so many people are always going to the same dentist over and over again for years.
That's a big part of it. That's a great point too. Because I actually had that when I was growing up. My mother like switched insurances, and she's like, oh, we can't go there no more. And I was like, I didn't obviously question it at the time, and I was like, okay. So we went somewhere else, and not a great experience, to be honest with you. And I was in my early teens, so I didn't really know right from wrong. And now looking back at it, it's probably maybe just a new hygienist or something. But I just didn't like the experience. Customer service wasn't there, and it was a combination of that. But it really, I would say, if they would at least made me feel comfortable, maybe I would have stood with them. But after that appointment, I remember walking out, and I was just like, Mom, I don't care about insurances, but I'm not going to the dentist if I have to go back there. Yeah. And, and that's the thing. And it had nothing to do, like nothing traumatizing, nothing terrible happened. Nothing terrible. It was just the experience. And at that age, being a teenager, I was like, yeah, but we're going back to doctor, and but yeah, so I ended up, actually shadowing there after that, and then I learned what an assistant was, and I said, okay, well, this is a little bit more feasible as far as maybe seeing if I wanted to really love the dental field. And I said at the time, I was working full time. I was probably, like I said, 22, 23, so I was like, I couldn't go to just not working at that point. So I was like, maybe I can become an assistant. And he was like, yeah, like you can definitely, dental assisting, you need a certification, but you also don't need a certification if you have someone who's willing to teach you. Okay. You can't take x-rays, but you can still, in the office, do certain things. I mean, a lot of it is sometimes you can't even really touch instruments or things like that.
Yeah.
But you can still be in the office. You can still be paid. It's obviously going to be the lowest of the paying job if you're not like certified in that kind of stuff. But
it was a good way to definitely get your feet wet and into the whole dental setting and kind of see firsthand what it's all about.
That was the goal. Like that was it from the jump. Like I was like, all right, I'm going to get in there, see what I can do and kind of see if I like this, maybe I can see what they're doing or how they do it or, that kind of thing. And I was like, this will be a segment to, bigger things. And even at that time, at 22 years old, I mean, I was making as much as your hygienists were at that time, know, and this is not like a brag at all or anything like that, but it was, I was working long hours, I was working weekends, and I didn't want that anymore. At 22, it was okay, but I knew by the time I was 35 years old, I want to start a family. I don't want to work. It wasn't going to
be feasible long term.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be, and it was draining, working in, the hospitality field. I mean, no matter what you do, you're going to be on weekends. I mean, that's the big event.
Weekends,
that's the big
holidays.
Exactly. Yep. So I just knew that wasn't going to be like the goal for me in life, and that was never the goal, but I just couldn't do that. And but anyways, coming back, full circle about the money thing, I was like, I have to work at I can't just not work. And they're like, well, you got to come like learn your skills. Like you can't just hop in here,
Yeah.
So I actually just shadowed there for a little bit. I ended up going to dental assisting school.
Okay.
And then I did my externship in that same office, my office. And the reason why I say that too is because if you guys are interested in the dental field at all, obviously watch our podcast first and foremost. Keep watching, but always start with your own dentist. Like, like your family dentist, or even if it's like you don't go to dentist or you haven't been in a while, ask your mom or your parents or your cousin or your friend, whoever it is, like someone they feel comfortable with, and they're like, yeah, I love my dentist. Like that's usually a good starting point. And I always said this. And the reason why I say I always said this is because fast forward a little bit, was dental assisting for 2 or 3 years. And then I got approached basically from my teacher in dental assisting school, and she knows who she is. So I won't say her name, but I miss you. And, but she was like, you'd be a great teacher. And at that time, like I was a pretty quiet kid, especially like in my dental assisting class, I was the only guy.
Yeah.
In dental assisting in dental assisting class. And I was pretty shy. I think probably because I was the only guy, which is cool. And I think that, I think everybody in our program could definitely say like they know like that we have like a good bond because we're two guys, and I'm actually gonna bring that story up here in a second, but but yeah, so I ended up teaching at my dental assisting school that I went to. She approached me and I was like, I don't know if I can teach. I don't know. She's like, oh, you can do it. And she's just that kind of teacher that no matter like, she's that kind of person. That no matter what you want to do, she's going to push you to succeed in it, and she will help you, and she will put in that extra time and really just motivate you to get to that point. Like if you, and that, because that's what dental assisting is. I mean, a lot of people go into the school and no experience, no idea, even like, now we can look back and kind of like, I guess laugh at like about the whole teeth numbers. Like we know what teeth number is, but you bring that up to somebody like, talking to your cousin at the table, like, yo, like your number 9 is looking like, kind of thing. And it's like, she just motivates you and feels so comfortable to kind of like, and she was like, you'd be a great teacher. And I was like, I don't know about that. But she helped me, and I can't lie, after my first class, my first lesson, dude, I had like studied the night before my first class, like, cause she was like, oh, you're going to talk about this that day. And I was like, okay. Like, as I told her, I was like, I wanted to like be prepared, you know? So, she's like, you're going to talk about this. Not that I hadn't learned it, I had learned it, but when you're teaching, it's a whole different story. It's not just, oh yeah, let's do this kind of thing. Like, it's like, no, they're going to ask questions. Yep. You need to be able to explain it. You need to make a connection with them. You have to make it fun. And so anyway, so I studied the night before. I remember just like after that, I looked at her, she's like, you did great. And I'm like, I am sweating so bad right now. But anyway, so I was a teacher for about a year, give or take. I have worked in a perio office as a dental assistant. So perio is my home base for sure. Even after I'll put it out here first episode. Perio will be home base for me for sure. And I worked in a perio office for about 3 years, and I loved it. Yeah. And I think hygiene route wise, definitely going to go into a perio office, but that'll be another episode. But I wanted to bring back our story about being like, obviously we talked about one of our episodes going to be the hygienist kind of thing, but first day of dental hygiene, I think it was orientation. Yep. I went up to Cody and I was like, hey, I was like, yo, it's like, hey man, we're going to be friends. And he looked at me, he's like, hey, yeah. And he didn't say much at first. And then I was like, hey, can I get your number? And he was a little bit weird, you know, kind of in a way. And especially like, you know, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think I drove up that day for orientation. So like, it was just kind of like coming up, you know, driving 4 hours or, you know, and so forth. And then it's like, oh, meeting new friends, whole new part of life and kind of
know
thing.
What you were going to be in for.
And look at us now, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll dive into that in a later episode. But I think this is a pretty good background, and we'll kind of go into, I guess, our next segment. Let's go into a segment. So we're going to do this segment, you know, hopefully you guys like it. And basically it's just talking about different terms. So Cody's going to bring up a term first episode. We'll obviously go back and forth. And I have no idea what his term is, by the way. So he's been a little bit,
hesitant on this.
I was going to say excited. I was going to hype you up. But yeah, so he's going to bring up a term, and hopefully I know it. Probably not going to know it. But
he's got this one.
All right.
But typically we're going to want to tie it into today's topic is going to be the goal.
Yeah, for sure.
And since today's topic was brief intro on us, don't really have many dental terms about a brief intro, so it's not gonna be related to today's topic, but let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Dental terms 102.
All right, let's hear it, Cody. I'm waiting for it. We just got hyped up now. Let's do it.
So today's dental term
is,
today we've got like a versus. A little 1 versus 2 and kind of the difference between the two.
Okay.
All right.
I like it. Bringing diversity first episode.
Yeah, bringing it in.
This is good content. Come on.
All right. So we've got gemination versus fusion.
Oh, man. Yeah, you dove into that real quick, too. So
taking it back to year 1.
Oh, man. Gemination. I don't even know how to spell that one. How about that? I know how to spell it, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you, because you obviously know. I'm probably gonna butcher the definition here.
All right. So gemination is the conjoinment of. No, it's not. See, this is why I'm bringing these terms, because even I get confused between. So let's start with fusion.
All right, fusion.
Fusion's the conjoinant.
There you go.
How do you say that word?
Conjoining. Bringing together.
Conjoination.
Yeah, fusion. You're fusing something together.
Yes, so it's one crown with 2 roots in the mouth. So when you're looking in someone's mouth and you're counting the teeth, they will be 1 tooth short.
Got it.
Because those roots fuse, the crown of the tooth has fused together.
Gotcha.
All right, and then gemination is like twinning of the same. So it's the same.
I remember twinning. That's what I was going to say, and that's all I remember.
So what do you remember on twinning?
I just remember that word.
Okay.
I remember that word being associated with that definition. But
yeah. So the way that I remembered fusion as well is it has the U in fusion, so it's like the union of 2 teeth. But gemination is the same tooth.
Is what, separated?
It's separated because it doesn't count as 1.
It doesn't count as 1.
Like how I said when you count the fusion.
Yeah,
it counts as 1, but it's actually big because it's 2 teeth conjoined.
Got it.
But gemination is
separated. So it's okay. Gemination is 2 separate. It's 2 separate parts of the tooth. No, sorry. It's one
that copied the
what?
Copied it's because it's trying to twin the tooth next to it. So it's like 2 of the same.
Gotcha.
Tooth, and that's why we remember the twinning, because it kind of takes on. Usually it's an incisor that just kind of like replicates the second one next to it.
Yep, got it. That's what I was gonna say. Like it's separate, but it's together. It's the same kind of tooth, but it's separate. Okay,
separate as opposed to fusion where it's together.
Got it. All right. So, anyways, see, we're already learning, and Cody just got put to the test. Look at me sweating right now. But yeah, so that's the kind of stuff. I mean, maybe we didn't give the best definition or describe it, but this is the way that we learn it, and this is how we remember.
Well, you better bet I'm gonna remember that now.
But that's the point of this, and even for anybody watching, you know, whether you're a dental hygiene student or not, I mean, more than likely you probably learned, if you're not in the dental field, what that means, and you're probably Googling it at this point, but
trying to get a straight definition on it.
Yeah, you know, but that's the point of this material. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna talk about this stuff and have a conversation and kind of dive through it, and that's a big part of our studying. I mean, you know, one thing that kind of bring back full circle about us, like meeting first day, being friends, going through program. Obviously, we do a lot of things together in the program, but having that study partner, you know, I feel like is everyone that you talk to, or anybody in the dental hygiene program, or even like dental programs or dental assisting programs, like they have people that they, you know, talk about certain, you know, topics or, you know, material together, or chapters or whatever it is. And that's the kind of the point of that little snippet, or not snippet, but segment.
Little segment, yeah.
So yeah, but anyways, pretty close to end of the first episode.
Yep.
So
I think that about wraps up what we.
Yeah, so that was good.
Part.
That was a good one. That was good. I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
That was good. So yeah, by the time we release this episode, we'll have a couple already. Probably gonna releasing not at the same time, but probably like back to back kind of thing. And I think our second and third episode is gonna be really good. So
yeah, we got some good ideas coming.
You guys definitely want to tune in for those. Let's just say your next episode is you're definitely going to want to click it. And let's just, I think I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, yeah.
Even if it's, I'm going to leave it at that. And the other thing that I wanted to say, if you guys have any dental terms that you guys want us, or anything like you would like for us to kind of talk about, or maybe you guys have a question about certain things, even dental related, we'll, you know, as far as the terms go, we'll put it in the segment if we like it. I think we'll tie that into, not right now, we won't start it, but I think the next episode we'll probably start like a giveaway or something like that. So stay tuned. We're going to be giving away stuff, you know, at some point, you know. So if you guys have anything that maybe you want, or maybe you would want to give us to give away, hint, hint. But yeah, so wrapping up first episode.
Where can they check us out to find those and keep up with us?
So we're going to be on all the social media platforms. I mean, most importantly is going to be Instagram. You know, for us, we know we're on that the most. So you can, you know, stay up to date. We'll be posting on there quite a bit, and you can kind of see snippets of the future episodes and things like that on there. And we'll be on all the podcast platforms. So it'll be audio and video. Video will be YouTube, obviously, and then audio will be definitely Apple Music and Spotify. Others we're still kind of on the fence for, but at
Apple
least
Podcast.
Yeah, Apple Podcast. What did I say?
Apple Music.
Apple Podcast. Apple Podcast says podcast huge right here. So anyways, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I guess on to the next one, man.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Let's do it.
All right. Why do we do it?
Because teeth.